I noticed that I started to feel a lot more grounded and more stable, that I had a lot less anxiety, I guess because so many of these extra energies were out. I was experiencing a lot more clearer insights and easier ways of communicating with my intuition. Because I've cleared so much space and so much of the chaos that was happening, there's a part of your, I guess, subconscious mind that kind of starts to think, okay, now it's safe for me to start bringing those up so that they can be cleared too. And it's almost as if I was receiving even insights and information on what to include in this course about how to clear the aura. It was crazy. Hi guys, welcome to my podcast, Bridging the Realm. I'm Desi Kadra, and on this channel I explore truths, mysticism, and what happens when you bridge the gap between spirit and matter. In today's episode, I really want to focus on what happens when you clear your aura for over a month. Now, for the past couple of months, I've been developing a course on how to clear your aura because over the years, I keep coming back to this thing about the aura and how important our aura and energy hygiene actually is. I've explored in the last 10 years everything from mediumship to psychic development to working with crystals, doing Reiki, learning how to do card readings and everything that you can think of under the umbrella of spirituality. I've done at least once. But there's always this one thing that I keep coming back to, which is the energy hygiene and the aura and just how important it actually is to maintain. And I've really come to see that a lot of the issues that we tend to have in our day-to-day basis, whether it's emotional issues or mental issues or physical issues, a lot of them, a big portion of them actually stem from the energetic side of us, from the energy that we have. And either because we don't maintain energy hygiene and we don't really clear our aura, or because we don't even believe that these things exist. So many times people actually tend to have a lot of issues that really come down to the root cause of not having any energy hygiene. And for the past 2 months, I've been creating this course. And of course, I had to take my own medicine. I had to try out all of the different techniques for myself to just really see for myself whether or not they work and whether or not they do make a difference to your overall well-being. And some of those things really surprised me, and some of them are exactly what I expected. But in this video, I really want to share with you guys what are some of those things that I found out. What are some of the results that I received as a result of doing aura clearing for over a month and a half now, for almost 2 months. If you're interested in learning about some of those techniques, I also have a free PDF attached in the description, so feel free to download it and try these out for yourself. By the way, if you want to know more about the dangers of having a weak aura and of not having any energetic hygiene and how that affects you, you can watch my other video, which is called The Dangers of Having a Weak Aura. It's very informative and definitely gives you a lot of inside information on what happens to our health when we don't have any, when we don't clear our aura. And yeah, it's pretty fascinating. And I've come to the conclusion, well, before we get there, let me just go into it. So we'll get to the conclusion together. To make it easier to understand, I'm going to separate everything into different types of themes. So each week is a different theme. The very first week, the overall theme was really just clearing the chaos. Because most of us are walking around with tons and tons of baggage of different types of energies, of frequencies, energies that are not even ours. We're absorbing constantly energies and thoughts and emotions from other people, from places that we go to, from interactions that we have. So you can imagine the picture inside is not great in the beginning when you first start doing this work. There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of different types of energies that really shouldn't be there, things that are confusing you, things that are not even yours to begin with. So, the first week for me very much felt like I was clearing the chaos. In the beginning of before starting the exercises, I definitely felt very a little bit confused, a little bit ungrounded. And again, there can be many other factors, of course, that go into this, such as what's going on in my own life, and also planetary wise. It's just so many things that have been happening recently. But overall, I've definitely had this feeling of feeling very, very ungrounded and feeling very like disharmonic within my own field, just having different thoughts and different frequencies jump from one to another. It's just an inner chaos. So one of the first things that I noticed when I started, probably after the second day of doing the energy clearings, I noticed that I started to feel a lot more grounded and more stable, kind of more anchored into the earth, more anchored to the earth, more grounded, more present, and kind of being able to be more here rather than my head just being everywhere. That was one of the biggest things that I first noticed and started to notice to begin with. Then one of the feeling of kind of becoming a little bit more expansive and being able to breathe a little bit more started to come through. And again, I'm guessing this is because you're clearing so much extra baggage that is not really even yours. So when we're releasing these energies, naturally, what's going to happen is that you're going to have to start to have more space within your own energy field. So it's not so cluttered with different things that really shouldn't be there, or just that have been there and blocking, the energies to move properly. So you kind of start to have this feeling of having a lot more space and a lot more feeling very expansive, and like you're finally able to be just breathe and really just take the air in properly. So that's kind of a feeling that I started to get within the first week of doing the exercises. I also started to get a lot more mind clarity. So just being able to focus more clearly on what I needed to focus on the task I have at hand. And it was just easier to kind of laser in on that. Again, my mind tends to go here and there a lot. So that was still present, but I was able to kind of capture more of these moments of being able to have this clarity enough so that I can actually, do the work that I'm supposed to do and finish it to the end. So that was definitely a big plus of doing the energy clearings. Also, one more thing that I noticed in the first week of doing the techniques for clearing the aura is that I started to have better sleep. I definitely struggle with sleep a lot. Just falling asleep, having so many thoughts in my mind. It would take me probably an hour to 2 hours to really fall asleep. But I noticed as soon as I started doing the aura clearings every day, especially when I was doing them at night, it really kind of prepares your brain for sleep mode, because already when you're doing energy work on yourself, you're kind of already in that space of meditation anyway. So your frequency, your brain frequencies kind of go into, I think it was beta or alpha, something like that, or yeah, I don't remember, one of those ones. But yeah, it's almost like you prepare your brain to go into that sleep mode by doing some of these exercises. And again, some of these exercises, as I've included in the PDF in the description below if you're curious to find out what some of these are. But yeah, so the overall theme of the first week was definitely clearing the chaos. And I can definitely say that by the end of the first week, I very much felt like I had more space and energy inside of me, like inside of my field. I felt like I could breathe more easy, funnily enough. But I felt like I had more clarity, like my mind was just more clear. I was able to focus on tasks a lot easier, and I felt a lot more grounded and kind of within my body, like more anchored in my body, if that makes sense. So yeah, amazing first week results after energy clearings. Before we continue, I just want to quickly let you know that I'm doing a free 7-day aura challenge where we're going to be doing techniques for aura clearing morning and evening for 7 days straight. Make sure you sign up through the link below in the description, and it's free. It starts on the 3rd of September until the 10th of September. I hope to see you there. Bye. The second week was the main thing, I guess you could say, was more about creating more space. So first week, we've cleared the chaos, we've cleared all of these energies that didn't need to be there, or any blockages that were there. We worked on that. And then the second week, you're starting to really feel, or I was starting to feel a lot more like I have more space, I have room to breathe, I have just peace. It just felt more peaceful in my mind. It felt like, okay, I can actually stay for a minute or two without really panicking or going into anxieties and stuff like that. One of the leading into second thing that I felt was that I had a lot less anxiety. I guess because so many of these extra energies were out, were now released. Now I only really had to deal with my own stuff, which is still a lot, but at least it makes it a little bit better because you have a tiny bit less, and at least you know that this stuff is your own. It's not somebody else's thoughts or issues that I'm dealing with and I've taken on and absorbed from them. So yeah, there was a definite feeling of feeling a lot more peaceful and a lot less anxious and just able to kind of deal with the things that were in front of you. Yeah, that's a definite plus, I would say. One of the other things that I noticed or started to notice in the second week was that it was becoming much easier to focus and just much easier to organize my mind in a way. So my mind wasn't just going from here to there to there to there. It's kind of like, okay, I'm focused on this and I'm staying on this and I'm not gonna stop focusing on this until I'm done with my task. So it was just a lot easier to kind of it's almost like I felt that I had more energy to use and also using it in the right way. So it's kind of like channeling your energy in a more productive way, I guess. That's definitely something that showed up towards the second week of doing the oral clearing. Then one other thing that I started to notice was that I started to feel shifts within my body. So kind of like very slight, very kind of soft shifting in the energies of my body. And that's something that happens when you do that I've noticed that when you do the aura clearings more and more, because you're practicing, we're basically activating that muscle within us to now start to feel within our energy body. So it's kind of like we're turning on our other senses within us. It's like you're exercising that muscle, so now you're able to pick up more of what's in your energy field. So that was kind of the feeling. I definitely felt like I could feel things shifting in my field, and that was probably because of clearing so many things, and kind of my field is being restored in a way, so you just get this new structure or new coherence within your field. But there's a definite feeling of starting to feel shifting happening within, especially around the back area, because I guess that's where we take on a lot of extra baggage and extra energies that we kind of tend to put them along our spine, shoulders, neck. That's why people get so many pains, in their shoulders and neck, because we take on so many energies from others and they tend to stick around here. So that was very interesting to see, very, very interesting to see. And yeah, just generally becoming more, I definitely felt more aware of my energy. It's like I was able to tap in and out of that sense almost, like uh, practicing with that muscle, that psychic muscle, that extra sensory muscle. You're starting to be able to feel the shifts and kind of become more aware of what's in your space, what's in your energetic field, which is really, really cool, and definitely very handy. So yeah, that was what I felt in the second week. And also the last thing that came up was at this point, I started to get a lot of subconscious patterns coming up, things that I have been struggling with, and that tend to be kind of like blockages, I would say, in my life. But you kind of tend to push them away or push them aside and not really think about them. Well, that's during the second week, that's when I really started to see some of these coming up. And my theory is that because I've cleared so much space and so much of the chaos that was happening, there's a part of your, I guess, subconscious mind that kind of starts to think, okay, now it's safe for me to start bringing those up so that they can be cleared too. So it's almost like you're unlocking the second layer of your clearing, which is the more emotional stuff. Because you really need to feel that you're in a safe space to be able to do that. Otherwise these emotions are not really going to feel safe enough to come up. And that's also what I've heard from people who do work with emotional healing. A lot of the times you have to first make sure that the individual feels very safe. And once they feel safe, these emotions will be able to come up more easier rather than you having to kind of excavate and go inside and try to pull them out. They just naturally start to come up. And that's very much what I experienced towards the end of the second week of doing aura clearing, it was like certain things were just triggering certain things within me, that was reminding me of those blocks that I have, that I know that I have, but I kind of tried to push into the back of my mind. But now they were kind of coming up, and I was like, okay, this is something that obviously it's time for me to deal with this, you know? And it's really interesting how it works. I'm still kind of trying to work out exactly the mechanics behind it. But I really feel like the more I tune into this and the more work that I do with the aura, I really feel that the aura has its own consciousness. You know, our auras has its own consciousness apart from our own. It's almost like it's a whole another being of its own, and it starts to kind of, yeah, almost like communicate with you once you give it this time and energy, and kind of like, okay, I want to heal you. I want to make sure that you're okay. And it almost, you start to get this kind of interesting, back and forth relationship with it, and it starts to help you to help it so that it can help you, if that makes sense. But yeah, very interesting, guys. I would definitely recommend doing these exercises and seeing this for yourself. And again, you can start very easily by downloading my PDF, which is free, and starting with some of those techniques that I've mentioned in the PDF. And again, everyone, don't forget to sign up to the free 7-day Aura Challenge, where we're going to be practicing techniques morning and evening for 7 days to help us clear some of the inner chaos and foreign energies that might be in your field. You're going to be feeling so much better after that. So make sure you sign up. It's completely free, and hopefully I'll see you there on the 3rd of September. Now, the third week was very interesting, and that's kind of, I guess it goes into the more esoteric side, and you really start to see and feel different things that you were like, okay, this is kind of weird. But yeah, so the third week for me, really the theme behind that was just creating more space awareness. So space awareness, I'm not talking about space awareness of who is next to you, but more space awareness within your own space, within your own field. So kind of what's inside of my field? What can I feel is maybe impinging on my field, trying to get inside my field, or things like that. So towards the third week, I really started to become even more aware of my own energy field and how it might be interacting with things around me. So that was very interesting to see. But I have to say, it's very hard, it's very difficult to maintain that. Like, it's very easy to lose it when you're not doing the exercises. So yeah, it's very interesting how it works. But one of the first things I noticed, again, really throughout all of the weeks was that I had more energy. And again, the way I explain this is because I've cleared up so much stuff, so much heavy energies that I was carrying from before. Once those are out, you're really only dealing with your own energy field and with your own, internal stuff. But once you kind of heal and repair your aura and start to kind of protect your aura and have this layer of protection around you that makes you feel safe and protected, and that not everything can get inside, you really start to have more energy. It's so, like, you really notice that straight away. It's like you just have more energy. You just have, you're not as easily drained as you used to be, or even with interactions, you don't feel as drained as you normally are. And there are some people that are quite thick-skinned and they don't, get drained so easily. But those of us who are sensitive, we feel that on a very, very deep level. And I know there's so many of you guys out there um, that are just feeling super, super drained and after interactions. And one of the amazing things about doing clearing your aura regularly is that you don't really get that. You don't really feel so drained. And even if you are around people who can be quite draining, well, your energy field is strong enough to kind of withhold giving so much of your own energy and absorbing any of theirs. So it does make it definitely makes a difference. So that's one of the biggest things I started to see towards the third week, really throughout the whole thing, but throughout in the third week mostly. So that was pretty great. One of the other things that I also noticed in the third week is that I became very, very sensitive to what I'm absorbing from other things. So to give you an example, I will be literally just walking down the street, and I could just feel my energy, every time someone come close to me, and just my energy will kind of just go like, like I'm not like I don't want my energy to be interacting with this person because they're just like walking past. So it's kind of like my energy is becoming, I guess, stronger and not really just kind of just giving it to everything and anyone out there, but your energy is really quite strong and coherent. Also, when I actually was doing the exercises, the different aura clearing exercises, you start to feel the energy straight away. So if you're, for example, doing a grounding exercise and you're grounding yourself to the earth so that your spirit is more here and anchored in your body, you really feel it. Like you just feel your energy just going boom and just kind of zoning in on this one point. And yeah, so becoming very sensitive to energy, even more sensitive than we normally are, but in a kind of a protected way, if that makes sense. So yeah, because when people think sensitive, I don't want to be more sensitive than I actually already am, but this is kind of sensitive in a good way. Like, okay, I'm feeling these energies, and do I want them, do I not want them in my field right now, that kind of, in that sort of sense. One other thing that became even more obvious throughout the third week especially was just the amount of synchronicities that I was getting. Just crazy synchronicities, like, because I guess at this point, I was still doubting, like, should I be doing this? I don't know if I'm gonna get any results from this, in terms of the aura clearing and the course that I was creating. Yeah, I was kind of, I guess, doubting myself, which is just normal for every human being to do. But I was getting so many synchronicities. Like I would go online, I would go on Instagram, and the first video that I saw was about aura, was about aura health and what does the aura mean and what is the color of your aura. So something that was kind of confirming what I'm doing and confirming that I am doing something that's in alignment with my soul, with what I really want to do. At least that's how I see it. And again, I know some of these things like synchronicities and angel numbers and things like that can be a little bit woohoo, and people are like, oh yeah, you only see it because you look for it and stuff like that. But no, guys, these synchronicities I was just getting like innumerable ways. Like it was just crazy. So with synchronicities, that's definitely been my way, from even from way back. That's definitely been my way of kind of communicating with my inner voice, with my soul, and just confirming certain things and confirming that yes, this is something that I really want to do and this is the right path for me. So this was great to experience. One of the final things that I experienced towards the third week was that I was getting a lot of, again, kind of moving on, following on from my previous point, was I was getting a lot of soul insights and ideas coming more easily, just ideas coming to me a lot more easier than normal, just getting all these insights about specific things. Even just having a question in my mind sometimes I would get the answer straight away. It's almost like I was I was connecting with my intuition, I guess, much strongly. And so yeah, as I was saying previously, you become kind of more coherent when you're doing these energy clearings. So the only way I could explain it to myself is that my energy was just becoming more clear, more coherent. And so I was aligning more and more with my spirit. And so when you have that alignment with your spirit and in your mind, it's a lot easier for you to kind of get those insights and downloads, as people call them in the spiritual field. But yeah, that was pretty amazing because it's like sometimes I was just able to tap into this infinite amount of answers. And yeah, when I had a question in my mind, or when I had some sort of a dilemma, I would just kind of tune in and I would just get this insight straight away. Whereas normally I mean, there's no way I'll be able to do that. It was very, very rare that this happens to me. And normally I'll have to be doing a meditation. It wouldn't be outside of the meditation, sort of, circle, I would say, normally. So that was definitely, a big plus that I experienced as a result of doing the aura clearings every day. And now we get into the final fourth and the fifth week, which I'm going to kind of combine all in one because all of these things kind of just, I was receiving them all at the same time. But one of the biggest things towards the end of doing the aura clearings for over a month now, that I noticed was that I was starting to have lucid dreams. very, very lucid dreams. And some of those lucid dreams were connected to actually to this work, to the work that I was doing. And it's almost as if I was receiving even insights and information on what to include in this course about how to clear the aura. It was crazy. Yeah, I literally had a dream where I had a what I believe was my guide or someone maybe from my ancestral team. I'm not quite sure. Still can't really distinguish them properly, but it was definitely somebody that I know, that my soul knows. Um, and this person just kind of did this weird kind of thing with my head. It's almost like he adjusted it into place. And immediately I just had this inner knowing or this insight that I need to include, or I need to look up something to do with the anatomy, with the actual human body, with the anatomy and how that affects the energetics within the body. Because this, I mean, of course, our body and our energy bodies are connected. So, and they're connected through things like the meridians, through the energy systems, so, and the chakras. So I just had this immediate insight that this is something I need to look into for the course, that this is something that's very important. And as a result, I added it as a one of the last chapters of the course. So that was pretty amazing. Like that's something I definitely didn't expect to receive as a result of doing these aura clearings. And that's pretty, I mean, yeah, if this is how I can continue to get insights, I'm definitely going to continue to do this. Yeah, that was pretty amazing to experience. So that was one of the biggest things that I experienced towards the fourth and the fifth week of doing this challenge of aura clearing. And one of the other things, and again, building on from the previous week, was that I was experiencing a lot more clearer insights and easier ways of communicating with my intuition. So it's like I could just hear my intuition, and I still can. It hasn't gone away. Obviously, this continues to stay with you, but I definitely feel like the connection between my brain, my logical mind, and my intuition is a lot stronger. I feel like I don't really have to try to figure out, what my intuition is telling me. It's just there, and it's kind of like, okay, yeah, this is the information. So that's for me, I mean, that's a huge bonus in and of itself. So that's pretty amazing. Yeah, it's been pretty amazing to experience this. And some of the other things, I'm just looking at my list of everything I've put down. Oh yeah, so more confidence. Like after you do this, and when you start to feel like your energy is more expanded, and you feel like you're really have this inner peace around you that you couldn't really experience before, or at least I couldn't when I was full of these energies and anxieties within me. Definitely there's this kind of energy that comes through that is, you feel a lot more confident, a lot more anchored. Yeah, I'm just definitely feeling a lot more grounded within myself and more centered, just more coherent. Like I was saying in the beginning, this coherent structure that we get, there's a definite shift towards that, and it feels like your energy is moving more and more. The more and more I was doing the exercises, the more and more it's almost like climbing your way up to this higher level of really embodying like embodying your own energy frequency, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's hard to explain, but you guys know what I mean. But yeah, it's a pretty amazing feeling. So that was one of the biggest things. And also magnetizing things towards you. There are things that I have been wanting to kind of have, manifest in my life, and manifest in like a small way, just simple things like I wanted to meet a person who, for example, deals with businesses and deals with kind of the financial part of it, that's financing and stuff like that, because I really want to learn more about financing and how to, so that one day when I have my own business, I know how to manage the financing part of it. And yeah, and literally within, I would say maybe that was like the third or the fourth week of me doing the exercises, I met someone who exactly does that, who has his own company, but also does financing, or worked in financing before. So he really understood that world. And there were just so many things like that that were coming towards me that were kind of like things, on my list of things that I need to, look into or look up. And they were just coming in. And it was like, wow. And again, the way I understand this is because when our aura starts to function properly, starts to fully function in the way it's supposed to, we become magnetic because we are electromagnetic. So the magnetizing part becomes even stronger. So we're able to actually magnetize towards us the things we're already thinking about, the things that we want to do or to have or to experience. You're already drawing them without even having to do much. And again, this is why I think this work is just so much more important than manifestation and trying to awaken chakras and things like that, because you don't have to do this. If you work on your energy field and if you work on maintaining a clear, coherent energy field within you, you don't have to do any of these things because they will naturally come to you as a result. Our energy is already magnetically drawing constantly things that are in our minds, that our mind is focused on. So that's the way I can explain this. And I definitely saw it for myself. It really, really does happen, guys. It's not that hard. It's literally just you having to be very consistent with with this practice, with your energy field, just maintaining it, just making sure you're aware of it, of what's going in, what's going out. Making sure that you're balanced and doing something when you're not balanced. And naturally, everything else kind of just seems to fit into place and just kind of come to you without you having to really put so much effort. So yeah, it's really interesting. I'm definitely going to be talking more on this because again, I feel like I'm at the very beginning of this research on the aura. And really, guys, like if you look up things about the aura, there's really not that much information about this specific part of about the aura. There is a lot of information out there about how to tell the color of your aura and what different colors of the aura mean, which are all great, and yes, they're important, but there's not that much information out there, at least as far as I could see, especially on YouTube. There was barely anything or anyone talking about this aspect of the aura. And it's just, this is literally the meat of everything. This is literally the root of everything. And if you work on this root, if you work on this specific part of your spiritual life or spiritual part of yourself, so many other things will just come into place. They'll just fit themselves into the right place. You don't even have to do those things. And yeah, I'm really excited that I'm one of the first people to be talking about this, or one of the people who are really talking in depth about this stuff. And hopefully I'm not the last, because again, this is so important. This aspect of our life, of our energy field is so important. And I really hope that more and more people practice this and understand this and just apply it in their own life, because you will see for yourself. Trust me. Like, don't trust me, don't take my word for it. Try this for yourself and you will see for yourself that it really does something to you. It really does start to shift things in your life. And by the end of if you do this for yourself, if you start to do these techniques, by the end of the first month, you're going to be like, wow, like there's definitely something here. This is something. So guys, I hope you found this really helpful. I hope you got some gems out of it, and please let me know if you did. Let me know if you resonated with any of this, and if there is anything specific that is troubling you in terms of when it comes to the aura and aura health. Let me know, and I'll try to address it in future videos, because this is one of the many videos I'm going to be doing on this. I'm fascinated by this topic, and I have been in the last few months, especially, but also in the last 10 years of really exploring this the spirituality and being in the spiritual field. And I really hope that you guys can join me. As I mentioned earlier, I am doing a course on how to clear your aura. It's called How to Clear Your Aura to Feel Like Yourself Again, because ultimately that's what we all want. We want to feel like ourselves, like we are completely 100% ourselves. And if you want to know more about the course, once it launches, once it's online, make sure you sign up to the newsletter, and I'll be announcing it in the next couple of days when it's online, so you guys can get also an amazing discount for it if you want to try it for yourself. But I've started to do one-to-one sessions, very, very limited one-to-one sessions, but I am also very interested in working with people one-to-one. because I do want to see where this goes. I do want to try and test it with more and more people and see if, if people are also getting any of those results that I was getting in those first 2 months. It'll be really fascinating to see. So if you're interested, if you feel like you've resonated with some of the information from this video, some of the other videos, and you're feeling like you're experiencing some of the, I guess, some of the signs of a weak aura, and you want to work with someone, I'd be more than interested in working with you guys. So definitely, you can book a session with me from the link in the description. And I really look forward to meeting some of you. And until the next one, take care of your aura, take care of your energetic health, please. And I'll see you the next episode. Have a good day. Bye.